G'day guys, Calvin from the Cartune Company. So we just got another car into the shop and I'm going to attempt to do like a bit of a video diary. I'm not sure if I'll do it in separate parts or put it all in one video, but I'll work that out as I go along. I have a Toyota Supra, it's a 92 Supra Mk3, and we're going to put in a 1uzfe VVti and a R154. I did a Mk3 last Christmas. That was a VVTi with an auto, the 5-speed. So this one's going to be manual, but it's nice to have just done one recently because I've pretty much got all the diagrams for it. The other one was a MA70, this is a GA70, but all the same concepts apply when you come to conversions. So the customer's already done some prep. We'll have a bit of a look at the engine that he's got ready. So it's a 20 series Celsior UZ. He's removed the hydraulic fan pump. The power steer pump has been rebuilt. He's done a cambout kit on it. I supplied a cambout kit for him and he's put that on. I've already done the wiring loom for the starter. The starter was rebuilt, and as you can see I've been at the wiring loom there. That's already in place. And that'll fit up to the battery in the standard position. I've got the wiring loom to do, so that'll be on my list, of course. Here's the car. Motor's already out. So it's been sitting without a motor for a little while. Engine bay's been tidied up and painted. And we've got a gearbox for it. Inside, we'll have a bit of a look inside. There's a few parts stacked inside. The old wiring looms in the back there. Some of the dash. Another chilly bin of parts in the back. And here's our gearbox for it. So we've got a brand new R154 for it. We've put in a new speedo drive already. And it's got the hydraulic release bearing, which I'm about to show in the next video of us fitting that up. First job we're going to do on the car, now it's in the shop, is remove the fuel tank and sort out the fuel system. So that's the job for today. Fuel tank fell out this morning. We're also going to pull the fuel filter out. So that's coming out, and we're going to replace that with this unit here. So that will be converted over to returnless. We're going to mount that up in the same spot above the diff. And we're going to remove one of the fuel lines coming to the front. It's going to be the return line. So we're going to keep the charcoal canister, which is this line here. So that's going to stay. This one here is going to be removed, and this one here will be modified. We'll run a steel line up the inside the engine bay. That's fuel filter going out, and then we've cleaned the top of the tank off quickly, and we're dropping out the fuel pump, and we'll be replacing that. Drilling out some rivets. I'll build some new lines, new wires for that. And inside the tank is actually quite clean, so I'm quite happy with that. The last one I did had been sitting for 17 years with some stale old shitty fuel in it, and it actually rusted inside the tank. So this one's going to make my life a bit easier. So we're going to be using, this is a Supra twin turbo pump, genuine Nippon Denso. So you can see it's a little bit smaller, but if you put it in, put the basket going the same way, check it sits in there. If it needs a couple of zip ties, that's fine. And the hose should line up. So put the new hose on it. And then, can you drill that out for me? Yep. And drill that one out for me. Yep. And I'll then make up a new bits of line and bits of wiring up to there and to there, and we bolt them on tight. Okay, pretty straightforward. I'll clear that bench for you. You can do that one in between getting that fuel filter out for me. Pretty straightforward to get this fuel line out. So there's the return line. I'm going to start working at the front. I'm going to split it off here. But while I'm at it, I'm going to remove the slave cylinder. That's pretty useless. We're not going to use one of those. And this line can come out as well. And this bracket, that's coming off as well, which is great. I'll be doing sparks while we're doing petrol. We'll try to avoid that. So we've taken the bonnet off, and before we put this motor in, I know there's going to be hot stuff coming down through here. So I've made up a new fuel line, and then I've covered it with heat-proof wrap up into here. So I've got the new fuel line in steel, and then it's secured to the breather line, and then heat-proofed in a 600-degree constant heat-proof. Just little things like cut off the bottom of this bracket. There's a bracket here, I took that off. Bracket there. I've measured up this hole where the speedo cable used to come through, so I need to get a 32mm grommet for that. Time to put on the brackets for the fuel line. We've removed the breather line completely. Oh, the return line, sorry. That's gone. And the fuel tank's back in. Fuel filter's fitted. We'll go up and have a look. So our tank's back in, and our fuel filter's fitted in the factory position with a bit of extra covering on the lines. It's a bit dark. Bit of extra covering, conduit on there, and secured so it can't rub on anything. And that high flow pump is in the tank. So that's the fuel system pretty much done. It'll use the standard relays. With the prep for the motor, the owners also fitted a rear sump. I happen to have a spare rear sump sitting around, so we pop that on, and we're going to do an oil filter swap, oil filter housing swap. So the standard one's coming off, and when I get this one open, so we're going to pop this unit on it. So it'll need a stud removed. So this stud's going to be removed, and we're going to swap over the filter screw. It's good to go. I'll put that back in this one. What I need is the correct oil pressure sensor for this vehicle. You know where that is?
Yeah, no, that's good. I was looking at it last time. Beautiful.
Take this off, take that fitting off. Let's hope I got that in the right spot. It should be about there, eh? Hopefully. Oil pressure sensor.
Yeah.
Sure it's got a gauge. Actually, no, it's definitely got a gauge in it, so it should have a sensor. Here's the old wiring loom. I'll pull that to bits. That's the coil pack. This is a fuel pump relay, which will need that. And the fuel pump resistor. And I'm going to take. We'll break that idle speed control off, so we better take that out. I probably could have done that alternator loom underneath the engine now too. I'm not going to. We're going to put it in. Enough foreplay, man. We're shoving it in the hole now.
No lube.
We might whip this intake off too, eh? So here, and then there's a pipe under here, which is a little bit of fun. I suspect we'll be popping it in the hole, slipping it back out anyway, but we'll see how it looks. Are the right and left mount different?
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're exactly the same.
No, they're not, because they're exactly the same. One wouldn't be right, one wouldn't be left. They just be engine mounts.
Okay, they're interchangeable then. Are the engine mounts interchangeable, smart ass?
Yeah.
Because one's got the hole at the front, one's got the hole at the back on the chassis. They don't run like a viscous fan or an electric fan, they run a hydraulic fan. Right. There's a little pump there with its own reservoir. And guys think it's the water pump and lots of other things, but when you're not running an aircon pump, the easiest way is just to take it off, blank it off. If I'm running an aircon pump, I put a whole idler on.
Yeah.
They're really efficient. The Prado that I just did had the hydraulic fan on it.
Yeah.
Keep going. Please confirm that bell housing hasn't got any engine dowels in it, eh? No, it won't have. This will be why I couldn't find the bolts.
Yeah.
They're in here. And that one isn't very pleasant.
No.
So I won't need the 4 other ones that I got of him. 12. 12. 125. I need some lube. It's not going in so well.
You get that on the big joints.
Give him a blowjob. Give my tethers a bit of a blowjob. Thanks. That's much better. We can probably put a bigger one on later, but I'll just screw some of the top shit getting in it. Right, slam it in the hole. Up. There's actually some really interesting differences between a 3UZ and a 1UZ VVTi. Same block, but the 3UZ has got extra bolt holes, like in back on this, back here, there's an extra set of engine mount holes. Yet it's the same block. The power steer pump bolts on differently, it mounts differently, and the breather's a different size. They've got a bigger breather on the 4.3. Different throttle body. Let's go in.
Alright.
We have to get it up with the car a little bit. Right, it'll go down like that as it goes in. So just slowly let it in, please. No, start letting it down.
Oh, it's down.
Yeah, because it's got an arc on it.
Oh, I see.
It's nice and slow. How am I looking on that other side? Because I can't actually see. Oh, I should be on the other side possibly.
That looks pretty good.
Okay, down we go. Look. Just lift it up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a block of wood just behind that steering rack.
Yep.
So I can come down and sit on that. So I'll give it a 2-inch block in there. You just give it a little bit of a push back.
Back in.
Just lift it up a little bit. Whoop, yep. Just a little bit more. Sweet. I'm just going to try and not crush my fingers.
Oh yeah.
I probably need a smaller block of wood actually. No, that's about right. Just a smidge more, Mike. Oh, yep, that's good. Thanks. Okay. Drop it down. You can't hit the steering rack now. Whoop. Sometimes they put a smaller brake booster into these.
Yeah, but then again, it's fully hitting against this side anyway.
Yeah.
It's not very much centre, but there's no way there much further back.
I might have to pull this out. I've just clamped it into a nice spot. We might have to pull it over a bit more.
Bring it up sort of more in the chassis. But that shouldn't be too hard, you'll only have to just rebend it, won't you?
Yeah, so let's get that out of the way. So if you undo that for me.
Yeah.
This is pretty much right. Look. I'm tempted to drop those blocks out and then we'll slide a gearbox up behind it, eh? Because it's not looking too bad at the front, distance wise. So I think if we put a radiator in here, it'll be about right. When we put a radiator in it. Yeah. Air cooler. I need to go down in my block. I need to go like to a, it's actually going to sit behind that quite nicely.
Yeah.
Cool, looks good. So the motor's sitting in the hole. It's actually looking pretty good in there. The last one of these I did, customer made the mounts and I wasn't really very happy with them. And I'm not really happy with my past jig, so I thought I'd improve it. So I've put a 10mm packer underneath on the cross member. That's given me my finger's width across the rack. There's enough on the booster. That looks good. So I think we'll try to fit some headers in here as well, which I'm hoping will fit. What do you reckon of that? Oh, I was just sticking that fucking wheel. Yeah, so that charcoal canister one, we might ditch that and we'll drop that into the chassis up here. The overflow. Okay, that's good. Can you no, let's lift it out, bolt them on, slam them back in the hole.
Right, going up.
Yep, we need to come up and forward. Yep, can you pull it out a little bit? Yep, now up we go. Mint. Oh, I should have tested to see if my mount will fit. We might put them on and then we might end up pulling it out again to build the mounts I want to make. Because the exhaust manifolds get in my way.
All this in the next half hour. Is that all dipstick need to move?
Yeah, we've got to take the dipstick out to get the headers in. It goes through the headers. They only need a couple of, maybe three nuts at the moment. Those ones that I sold yesterday would have worked.
You got another set of them?
I do.
Good.
Or I got a set of 20 series ones. Right, lift it up. They are not going to fit. They're just too wide. Sweet. Okay, so we were too wide at the back, in this back section. Pass me that spanner. Thanks. Let's whip them off. I've got a set of 3UZ ones, and I've got a set of those Soarer ones.
Are these ones you get made yourself?
Yeah, they're my design. And so they're designed to be narrow.
Shame you can't hear.
Okay, so we've got some 20 series. Look, they're much narrower. Can you take that cover off, please? These are wider here, but they narrow right down at the back. So where we were too wide, these headers, the flange is going to be way too big.
Just like a little header, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a standard 20 series.
All the design that goes into an engine, you'd think they can make something a little bit prettier.
Yeah.
Even those are sort of, Jesus.
Well, this is the left, this is your side. This is the side that I've had on. They're considerably wider at the front, which I think would run into problems with.
That one there kicks out quite a lot, that'll go straight into that for the fuelers, eh? You'd have to cut it off way back.
So these are much shorter in the downpipe.
Mm.
So what I reckon, I'll whip this flange off. Whip that flange off. Right, let's go on. I'm going to put another packer in there. So I need to bring it up. I had a 10 mil. There's a 10 and then some 5s. I happen to have some spares.
20 pieces of wood in there.
Yeah, that's probably a bit big. Okay, it's just sitting on that back, eh? So that's just sitting on the firewall, just by the brake hoses there.
Yep.
And those headers just clear. If I set it like that, that clears on the headers.
It's a lot better on this side.
That it's like millimeters away. And I've got clearance on my booster. And we've got clearance on the firewall. If
Done.
you,
It's fixed.
and she's done, man. Yeah, mate. If we drop it all the way, is it going to sit onto that firewall okay?
So,
Yeah, but if we push a gearbox up to it, and bolt the mount on, then we can line it up nicely. It's not going anywhere, eh? It's actually sitting on the stud on the firewall, nicely. Let's slam a gearbox behind it.
then we go do some skids.
Yeah, it might be a little while before we can do skids, but I like your enthusiasm. I think it needs to go to the left a little bit. Hey, we didn't break the idle up valve,
Oh yeah.
which won't fit in anyway. Yep, those headers are going to work. This has done the big kink because we've given it the bend up with those headers. Right, slam a box behind it. So there we have a brand new R154 for the Supra. We've got the bell housing to go on it too. So it's going to get swapped to a 1uz bell housing. And that's the longer of the bell housings. So 190mm long. And these don't come with the speed sensor, so we're putting in a surf one. So I've got to check the gear's actually big enough to touch. And then I'll build up a little wiring loom so that can go in and sort of be ready. This particular car was running this box. So we might actually sit it beside it and have a comparison. So that gearbox is going to sit about 50 mils further back on the shifter. The bell housing itself is 30 mils longer. So we get a brand new gearbox and then we go cutting it to pieces. We're going to fit a new internal release bearing setup. This is the one that I make up. And there's going to be new holes drilled in the bell housing to fit the new pipes, the new hoses going into it. we'll need to take the shifter off it. We're looking a little bit high there for me. Can we bring it down a little bit, please?
We had this last time, I ended up putting my head back.
Yeah, it's good to make the loop.
Let's go that way, buddy.
It'll even up once we've got it in the hole. And the gearbox mount is a real fun one. There's actually, these are different angles, so you can't actually put it on wrong. I was hoping to be able to reverse it if the mount was further back.
We'll just tweak this.
But this had a straight 6 in it, which could have come back into this piece here to possibly sat back further. So I'm hoping that the difference in length of the gearbox relative.
No. Looks like it's miles out already. Oh. Yeah. Up a bit. Cool. Lined up now.
Do you want to grab that gearbox mount?
Yeah.
It's that. That's the one.
Not gonna be too far off.
Right, let's slam some bolts in that.
So this can go up, or just do it again.
As long as it just goes up gently, you'll be fine.
I'll fuck it all off. I mean, my side's lined up.
Can you, you've gone up too hot. Can you bring it down so I can, I'll just bring it down a little bit. Watch yourself.
Yeah.
So I want to put these on first.
Oh,
Our little shorties, if you get them too long, they press into that mount. How do we look on the moving forward? What do you reckon on the moving forward? On the motor? I think we fell on sump.
a couple of them. On the sump anyway. Other than that, there's nothing stopping it. Yeah, it's just some.
Oh, we've got
There's a little bit.
a couple of mils.
A couple of mils is probably all we need.
Right, let's push it forward then. Yep. Oh, you're getting it. I'm not. I'm useless.
Yeah. Or is it easier just to like drill that bracket basically?
I've got a finger width there before it gets too close to that rack.
Mm.
Okay, so if I slot those holes, those back ones, I can work on the front ones later.
Yep.
Oh look, we can move it forward. Yes, we want to move it forward. So if we slot the back, we'll just slot those back holes at the moment.
Ready for tomorrow to leave straight up.
This is front. So slot here.
Yeah, better check that.
And we're going to slot it. Yep, that much. There's an arrow in here somewhere, eh? You can just stick it there. It's gonna be that way. Well, we've ended up with 5 mils clearance here. Got the 5 mil measurement. Oh, not quite. Doesn't quite fit through. It's like 4 mils. It's like next to none there. We'll take that breather, that charcoal canister. Alright, that's spares.
That's out.
Was extra. I don't have engine mounts yet. I'll make some.
You're going to make some, okay, that was it.
But they're fairly straight, eh? They're fairly straightforward. That exhaust being close to that steering, I'm going to have to put some a shield in there or something. How do we look width-wise?
As in it's sitting.
We'll have a look at the top, eh? Let's bring it down, Mike. Oh, I'll bring it down. How's that? 15 millimeters of packers on the cross member.
Okay.
Well, I can't go much this way without it hitting the engine mount on this side. So, no, we're good. We're about the same.
That must be pretty centered.
I think between the chassis rails to the crankshaft will be fine on this. So crankshaft to chassis rail, crankshaft to chassis rail should be even. So this one should sit in line. The Hiluxes don't, they sit like 20 mils offset. So you've got to be really careful with those. And they look fun. Some of the Hiluxes, the new shape. The old shape's set in the middle.
How are you off for? Do we know yet?
Oh, heaps of room because he's had a straight 6 in them. So forward to back, there's plenty of room.
Okay, so we won't be pushing it
And you
in.
need a radiator.
Oh, so,
He's got a radiator, I'll just go pick it up or give me a call.
so radiator and nothing else?
Fans, there's heaps of
Yeah,
room
your
in there.
fans, yeah, but nothing else. No,
No aircon.
no aircon, no
And there's some
nothing
power
like
steering, cooling and stuff to go in the front.
that. Alright.
So, yeah, I don't know about bonnet bulge. Otherwise we space the steering rack down, the whole cross member down.
Yeah, but you've got a bonnet bulge where it makes it look cool.
I'm kind of thinking we might just sit
He's going to get you to sit the bonnet there, and you know that, don't you, mate?
the bonnet on.
Yeah, he does that.
From the top of the guard to the top of the guard is about 5 mil.
You get it out for your heat shield, though, your shields and stuff.
Yeah, so that's
Power steering into the pump, all right?
Yeah, this is nice. Look, it's got the proper, he didn't throw the reservoir array, so straight into there, so that's
nice
easy.
Hoses, Cameron, you haven't got Cameron's
And then,
got
no,
those
we've got to make them up. And then along here, like we did last time, but it depends on that radiator.
up. Okay, yep. this one. You have to make sure that everything's right for the radiator, won't you?
Down
Down. Okay. Yep.
and across to here.
Across to there. Okay. Sometimes you had radiator coming up was plumbed in backwards. Don't ask. It's actually looking better than I thought it would. Yeah, I'm going to make up a nice neat wiring loop.
Yeah, they would have set too high, too wide. Oh,
Some of that wrap materials over there.
ready?
Didn't need that anyway.
Standard heat shields?
Be alright, wouldn't it?
I think so.
Still about 10 mil of gap there.
Oh, I think your 10 mils more like 5 mil, but
Nah, I'll meet you halfway, it's about 8.
yeah, we might get away with that. That rubber can't be that important.
No, no one really liked it anyway.
It's only to stop crap going down there. Could I have changed that with something else? More durable.
What about your hot rod shield?
Hot rod shield.
We put
Zip
that
tied it on.
Zip tied it, it would make a nice heat resistant bush.
I reckon that's a good idea.
I thought of it myself.
So we're well away from the universal. It's only that bit of rubber that's there that's the problem. I'll try not to lose this factory bracket, eh?
Yeah.
Right, I think we'll call that a day.
Yeah, well, I've probably got to shoot out Sanders anyway, because we've got to organise this trip and get us heat sorted.
Yep, and I'll sit some over at that shifter. Looks good though. Thanks for that. Looks very good.